We are at Lake Trails Base Camp, located on the very southern tip of Oak Island. Technically, we're called Oak Point. My name is Sue Lem, and I'm the camp director, have been for the past 10 years now.
Everybody looking good? Yeah!
Lake Trails began in 1952. It was a vision of Father Bill Merkins. He wanted to start a camp for teenagers where they could go and explore the wilderness and, just really have fun. And of course, because of his love of boats, that was always part of the vision as well. They got permission from the Diocese of Crookston to start a camp. And so Father Bill and Father Jerry rented a boat and they started going around to all the little islands, just exploring. But they decided that this was a pretty good spot. And they started doing really very similar to what we're doing today. They went out on canoe trips and just started exploring the area. In the very beginning, it was a Catholic boys' camp. After a couple years, they started thinking about why should the boys have all the fun? So a girls' camp was started. And in the 70s, the decision was made to just go co-ed. The current mission of Lake Trails, it's built off of Father Bill's vision of what he called the Lake Trails idea. We want kids to learn really to appreciate themselves, to appreciate nature, to become a positive member of their community. I can remember Father Bill many times using the phrase unconditional acceptance. And that was just drilled into us through his sermons and just in his everyday life. Forgive readily and be part of the community that we're building. Have a wilderness adventure. That was all part of the Lake Trails idea.
Watch over us as our 5 days on trail, help us bond, create memories, and hopefully bring us back a little bit more in touch with nature.
It's a pretty intense 9 days, but the real magic, the real heart of it all happens when they're out on trail. And so the first day is mostly getting here. Get them out to the island and they check in. You check in your phone and you check in your electronics. We don't want them to be staring at a screen. We want them to interact with one another, and that's how real friendships are formed, really, is just through human face-to-face contact. And they have a big supper that night, big campfire that kind of sets the stage for the week. There's a lot of crazy skits, and just the guides are amazing. They're funny and imaginative and creative, and they really start out on a fun note. The second day is kind of a crash course in everything we want them to learn on their canoe trip. So we teach them everything from how to set up a tent to how to paddle to how to poop in the woods. That's some kids have to know. They spend the rest of that day just packing their gear, deciding what their menu is going to be for the week. And at some point during the day, the group will go paddling and really get that experience of being on the water and pushing the water around with your paddle. The real heart of the program starts on day 3. That's when I start to see kind of some nervousness sometimes, some excitement, a little apprehension once in a while, especially for kids that have never been here before. They're not necessarily sure what they've gotten themselves into, which I think is great. A little uncertainty is good for a person sometimes. And again, I think this is a little unusual that Lake Trails allows campers to choose their own canoe trips. That was one of the things early on that Father Bill wanted to have happen. So we still today try to have the kids very involved with the planning of the canoe trip. I know a lot of camps, it goes by age or by your grade in school, and we don't really care about that. From the moment they leave the beach, we just call it trail magic or the Lake Trails magic, and it's just amazing what happens when they're out on trail. My very favorite part is watching them leave and then fast forward 5 days and watching them return, and the transformation is amazing.
Be good to each other, work as a team. Woohoo!
And the real magic is that whole time this lovely community is forming. They learn about each other and they They make new friends. They learn about kids who come from different circumstances than their own. Every trip has at least 2 guides, and they're traveling from island to island. They learn how to start fires. They learn how to do a little cooking over the campfire. They learn how to set up tents. They learn that they're way more capable than they probably gave themselves credit for. Then they come back from trail, and oh my gosh, the celebration is just crazy. And the stories begin immediately when they get out of the canoes. There will be a lot of tears at the end of the summer when we all go our separate ways, because you just get so close. This is the best kept secret in Minnesota. People just don't know about us. And that has always been a challenge, is to let people know, because there's truly life-changing things that are happening here for the better, and people don't know that we even exist.
Funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. And by the members of Prairie Public.